Swaddy Cup, Swaddy Ka. Hello, this is R. John Dan Smith with Michigan Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu Academy here in Lansing, Michigan. Today I'm going to shoot a video on the Thai kick. The Thai kick is a very powerful kick when done correctly, and I'm just going to show you some of the details about the kick itself. First of all, we want to talk about the stance. The stance of the kick is very important because that's where the power comes from. So I always tell that your base is your power. So we have two types of stances that we work on here. We have kick stance, which is for more of a longer range, amount of punching range, and then we have the boxing stance, which is obviously more for boxing range. Okay, so in the kick stance, my shoulders are going to be square to my hips. Okay, my feet are going to be just slightly off a little bit. Just envision yourself as a baseball player. You're up at home plate, here's the plate, and I have the ball and I'm going to hit the ball. The key thing about the Thai kick is that the motion of the baseball swing is identical to the motion of the kick and the way the hips move for the kick. The power in my stance is right here, okay? That's why if I step back, like in a karate stance or a boxing stance, you notice that my power line changed. It's no longer in front of me. It's off to the side here. So by the time my kick would get here, it would have lost power. So by going like this, now I've centered that power line. And now when I kick, my hip is at maximum impact. It's just like the baseball again. When I'm hitting, okay, my hip is rotating through the swing, rotating through the kick so that it can have maximum power. Another thing that makes the Thai kick so powerful is the fact that I'm kicking with my shin and not my foot. Okay, and that makes a huge difference because that's a thicker bone, more powerful striking surface. Okay, so we have the kick stance. In the kick stance, I like my hands to be just touching the outside of my thighs, coming up. My hands slightly turned in a little bit, eye level. Okay, and I'm just sitting in this position. And I like to do this. This is what we call step footwork, where we just kind of like a cat. Just envision a cat that's real happy, and they do this with their claws. They're called kneading you. So that's kind of what I'm doing with my feet. I'm just sitting here, kneading. My hands are here. Nice. Okay. The key thing about this is I have my center open, and that's mostly because I'm focusing more on defending the Thai kicks than I am the punches because I'm in kicking range and not punching range, okay? So, but it's easy to transfer from kicking to punching, okay? So, I'm in kicking range, my hands are here, eye level, nice, smooth, 1, 2, 1, 2. My hands are doing this backward circle, okay? The reason why we do that is we want to keep our weight mostly to the back foot. Okay, I'm on the balls of my feet. I never want to be planted, okay, when I want to be mobile, okay. Sometimes you're planted because I need to stand my ground, but if I want to move, I need to be on the balls of my feet, okay. So I'm here, the left foot is very light so that I can defend real easy or even attack real easy. Hands are up, okay. Now, if for some reason my opponent is attacking or coming into range with punching, I can step back into punching boxing range. Now you notice that once I go in the kick range, my body is tall. I want to be nice and tall, okay? Bang, bang, so I can defend. Okay, once I step back, that's if my opponent is coming at me, I'm going to step back. Now you notice that my hands are in line with my thighs. Okay, and my hands come up, my hands go from wide to narrow. Now I've completely shut down my center line, and I talked about my center line concepts in the boxing section that I did earlier. Okay, so this, I go back. Now my hips and shoulders are more of a 45 degrees. My hands are up, protecting. I'm still eye level. This is really important because the lower my hands get, the more vulnerable my head is. Okay, if I'm here, it is pretty hard to get things through, okay? So I'm in this position, okay? Now I'm in the boxing range, okay? Boom. Okay, now, if I'm in the kick stance, and I want to initiate the boxing, I will step forward into boxing range. Okay, so now I can go from going backwards to going forward. So from kick stance to boxing stance, back to kick stance, step back, the boxing stance, step forward to kick stance. So what I'm doing is I'm learning how to move from one type of fighting, which is more kicking, to boxing and knees and elbows and that type of stuff in those ranges. So that kind of talks about how the stance is, how the hip rotation, okay, how that's really important. The hip rotation is definitely the power. And it's, again, if you look at the baseball, boom. Okay, now you notice that when I throw the Thai kick, my knee is going to be leading the shin, okay? And that's because my knee is following the rotation of my hip, pushing that power through the shin. Okay, just like when I hit the baseball, my hands are here and I hit the ball here. Okay, so my hands are following my hip rotation, and that's what's getting maximum power to the ball, hitting it with the bat. Same thing with the Thai kick. Well, you'll see that when I'm demonstrating the kick. Okay, so now we're going to demonstrate the Thai kick. We start out with the right side. Okay, there's 3 types of kicks that I teach here at my academy. I've been with Grandmaster Ajahn Chai for 30 years. I started training with him in 1990, and I got my Ajahn a few years back, and it's been an awesome journey with Ajahn Chai. So, okay, so we're going to stand. When I'm standing, I'm going to be facing my opponent so that I'm in what I like to call the 2 tracks. It's like we're standing on 2 railroad tracks. Okay, my left foot is in line with his back foot or right foot. Okay, my left hand is going to be in line with the shoulder. This is the easiest way to follow. So I don't have to try to follow foot for foot. It's easier just to keep my hand and my foot together, and I can follow the shoulder using my hands. Okay, that way I can always stay on those tracks. Once that track is compromised and I'm not going longer in the track, it kind of compromises my ability to defend everything or to attack. So that 2 tracks really gives me the greatest opportunity to defend, attack, counter, whatever. So that's important to maintain that 2 tracks. Okay, so I'm here in my stance. Okay, now the next thing that's really important is range. How do I know if I'm even close enough to kick, punch, knee, elbow? Range is probably one of the biggest components of fighting, knowing how to range. You notice if you watch a lot of fights, you see a lot of people missing. It's because they're either A, too afraid to enter the range, okay, because they're afraid to get hit, or they just don't know the range and they're just missing, okay. A lot of times it's more fear, because if I'm going to hit you with my range, more likely you can hit me with your range. So you have to be able to develop a great confidence in your ability to defend and counter while you're in your range to attack. Okay. Now there's a lot of different ways I can get to range from one range to another. We use that a lot in our Jiu-Jitsu concepts that we train here. Okay. Anyways, so now I'm standing here on my 2 tracks. Okay. Now, like I was mentioning, we have 3 types of kicks that we can do in the Muay Thai. Okay, we have what we call, the first one we're going to demonstrate is called the regular Thai kick. The regular Thai kick will come up and come across more horizontally. Okay, this is great when I'm sparring or if I'm hitting the heavy bags, I can do this kick. Boom, going across. This kick is great to go to the legs, great to go to the body. Okay, obviously, you won't be able to do it to the head unless you're 8 foot tall. Okay, so, but to the body and to the legs, you can do the regular Thai kick. Okay, so how this kick goes. Okay, now the next thing I want to do too, before we start kicking Mr. Bob here, okay, I want to demonstrate the setup for the kick. Okay, so this is really important. So I'm in my kick stance. Okay, when I get ready to throw the right kick, I'm going to lift my left heel off the ground. Okay, I need that so this heel can rotate or pivot. Okay, so I'm going to lift this hand up. Now this hand is going to come across. Okay, you notice that my face is always staying covered during this transition. So I'm in this position. I lift my heel up. I place my hand across, and then I'm going to kick. When I throw the kick, this hand is going to swipe across. Okay. Now this is a method that is pretty new to the WTBA. For years and years and years and years and years and years, you would go like this. Okay. You would throw the hand behind you. This hand would come up to defend the opening for counter punches. Okay. So this is how we did it for years, and this is how most Thai fighters throw the kick. Okay. But Ajahn Chai brought this method in. Okay. And at first, we kind of said, I don't know if I like it, until we kind of really understood the purpose behind it. Okay. So, and we call this, I call this swiping. I don't know if anybody else has different terms, but I call it swiping. So I'm here, when I do this, I'm going to go shoulder to shoulder. Okay? What I'm doing is I'm taking out their ability to punch me while I'm trying to kick. Okay? Because if I'm kicking, I'm still kind of in that punching range a little bit. Okay? So it's also a great way to tell if I'm close enough. Okay? For me to kick, if I can touch with the tip of my finger, I can kick with my shin. Okay, if I can't touch, I'm out of range to kick. Okay, so this is really important that I know my ranges. And the best way to learn that is by physically putting yourself in that range until your eyes get accustomed to it. It's kind of like parking a car. Okay, you have your car, you're used to your car. You can park your car into a tight parking spot because you know it's going to fit. You know the range of your car. Okay, then you get your buddy's big, huge pickup truck, and then you try to park it, and you're like, oh, I don't know if it's going to make it, because you don't understand the range until you learn the range of that truck. Okay, so you have to practice and practice and practice, and then eventually your eyes will be able to tell you that you're in range or not. Okay, so you're learning how to find your range through visualizing the distance. Okay, so I'm here, I can touch. I get ready to kick. We're doing the regular Thai kick. I lift my heel up, go here, and I throw. I did an old-fashioned Thai kick. Okay, so let me do it again with the newer hand motion. I was talking about all that time we did this for years and years. Okay, so I'm here, I touch, one, I throw the kick. Okay, so again, you notice how that knee is coming across. Okay, that is the knee following the hip, which is pushing the power into the shin for maximum force. Okay, coming straight across. So this kick kind of comes up and then shoots straight across. Okay, again, this is great for hitting the legs, great for hitting the body. Okay, so I'm up here, I find my range, I'm in my stance, 1, 2, I lift, I throw the kick. Come back, reset. 1, 2, touch, find my range, load, come back. Okay, so you're throwing that Thai kick, okay, into the body or to the legs. Okay, obviously hard. The kick is about doesn't have regular legs. So you're throwing that Thai kick, it's really good. So this is what we call the regular Thai kick. Okay. The next Thai kick that we do here is called the up kick. Okay. Now the up kick is good when you're kicking Thai pads. Okay, because usually the Thai pads are at a slight angle. Okay, unless the person is holding the pads vertically, you can't do the regular kick, because the regular kick usually goes underneath. So we do what we call the up kick. Now on the up kick, the angle for that kick, it kind of comes up and through this way. Up and through this way. Okay. Now the up kick is great for sweeping. Okay, if I'm going to cut the leg out, I can sweep the leg out. So it's really good for cutting legs, sweeping the legs out. Okay, but it's also good for kicking the Thai pads. That way you can get good kicks on that. So again, everything's identical, it's just except the angle of the kick now. Okay, so now we're here. We have Bob, we give respect to Bob. I'm in my stance, I load up my heel, put this here. So now you notice the kick is just coming up at a slight angle, going into the body this way. Now this is a good kick as well. I like this to the inside of the leg because it's cutting up. Okay, so it's really doing some damage to that inside leg there. So I like the up kick on the inside leg. The outside, I would rather do a regular kick. It's going to have more effect, I think. But you can also do the up kick on the side of the leg or in the back of the leg, which is really good and really hurts. Okay, so I'm in here, I find my range, I hear, oh, and I throw my kick, it comes up, and I'm in here like this. Good. Always remember to breathe when you train. Very important. Okay, I'm here. 1, 2, 3, and I kick, so it's coming up. Okay, I'm hitting with the shin again. Okay, so this is what we would call the up kick. Okay, now the third style of kicking that we do is called, I like to call it a chop kick. Okay, it's called angle kick. Basically what this kick does is it starts here and then chops down. So now the angle of this kick is coming downward instead of horizontally or up. This one is a devastating kick to the legs. Okay, it's chopping through the energy. When you kick here, I can go sideways, but when it comes down, there's no energy. There's nowhere for that energy to go except in through your leg. Okay, probably not a good kick for the body. Okay, but if you have the flexibility, it can be done to the head, right? Comes up, but the thing is that the kick has to go above the target and then cut down. Okay, so it can go to the head if you have the flexibility. The up kick is a good one to the head. Okay, so flexibility, you might even be able to do the horizontal one too as well. Okay, depending on your height and the height of your opponents. Okay, so this chop, I like to call it chop kick, but it's also, I heard it called angle kicks. There's a lot of different methods or names that have gone through the years. So I'm in here, so I go 1, 2, and now I'm going to cut down. Okay, so I come up, 2. So now that kick is coming down on that target. Okay, going into it, up, and then cutting down. So I'm in here, I'm rolling, 1, 2. Chop down on this. This is a very devastating kick to get hit with because it literally just goes right into your leg and it really causes some damage there. I've seen a lot of broken legs done with this kick before. Okay, so those are your 3 methods. Okay, for the Thai kick on the right side. The left side, obviously, you can do regular kick, angle kick, or chop kick, or even the up kick on the left side. The difference with the left kick is that because of this, it's in the front, we have to change it for different reasons, right? Okay, the first kick we're going to do is just a stationary kick. Okay, I love this kick. I call it a check kick, stationary kick, because all I'm doing is here is just bang. I'm just irritating my opponent with this kick. Okay, making them respond to it, using it to tenderize the inside of the leg. Okay, there's a little, you get some power because the hips are going into it. Okay, it's not going to be the most powerful kick you're going to do from the left side, but it definitely does have power. Okay, it can almost be like a JKD kick where I shuffle and then come back. Okay, so you can basically mix in some other types of kicking. Okay, so I can just stationary. Now you notice my hip is going to rotate through on that kick. I still, boom, send this out because this, again, is really important for interfering with any type of a punch that might come at that time. So I'm in here, boom, I can throw the kick. Or if I'm a little bit farther out, boom, I can shuffle, come back in. I like to put the JKD into pretty much everything I do. So this is what we call the check kick. Okay, so I'm in here, moving, boom, just moving around, boom. Again, I'm pushing that hip through at that last second. Pow. Okay, again, I like this kick because it's great for tenderizing. Okay, it's great for getting them to react to it, and the reaction will make me set up counter kicks or punches or whatever. So it's a great kick to just keep them on toes. If they're coming in at you, boom, you just sit there and you throw the kick. Boom. Okay, you just hit it. Okay. Inside the knee, the main target. Okay. So that's the first delivery, it's what we call stationary. Okay. So this can be done in the beginning of the technique. I'm here, kick, hang, moving, I can go pop, pop, pop right away. So I can go from the kick to the punching range, or I can go punching range, kick, back out. Okay, so I can go from having it as the beginning of a technique or combination, or as a finisher of a combination. So this kick kind of has a lot of really good qualities about it, because I can use it a lot in different types of things. Okay, so I can start, kick, boom, 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 any type of punch combination you want. Or I can punch, kick, and come out, okay? So I like it for those attributes as well, okay? Now the next way I deliver the left kick is what we call the switch kick, okay? And the switch kick, to me, will always be the beginning of a combination, okay? It's very fast. It gives you a chance to close that distance, okay, so that you could set up your punches, okay? So on the switch kick, I'm in my kick stance, and I'm just gonna go, boom. I'm just taking my left foot and putting it where the right foot, in the line where the right foot was, and vice versa. You notice that when I do the switch, my pivot is already started. It's almost already completed. Okay, I'm loading up my hips for the left kick. So I'm in here, boom, and I throw the left kick. It's really fast. The nice thing I like about this kick is I can use it to angle, okay? I can use it to go forward, okay? Ooh, I can use it to defend against an inside attack, okay? To set up maybe a right kick, or just to evade the kick. So I can use it defensively as well, okay? So I'm in this position, I go 1, 2, and I throw the kick. If I'm at range, 1, 2. Now the biggest mistake people make on the switch kick is by using it to get too close. What do I mean by that? Okay, now I'm way too close for the kick. Okay, if I was using it for maybe a knee, perfect. Okay, okay. But if I'm using it for a kick, I want to make sure that I'm not moving forward. Okay, I'm staying in that kick range. So I'm here, 1, come back out. 1, come back out. 1, hey, come back out. Hey, come back out. Okay, so very good for speed. Okay, very good for setting up punching. Okay, it's really good. Though I would always consider this a kick to be a beginning of a combination. It doesn't make sense to go 1, 2, 3, switch kick, because it interrupts the flow. Okay, it'd be better to go 1, 2, 3, kick, and come out. Okay, so you have a nice even flow. Okay, it's like music, nice flow. Okay, now this last kick that can be delivered off from the left kick is what we call the stepping kick. Okay, so when I'm in a stepping kick, now to me, this would always be a finish to a combination, because I'm using it to, maybe I'm in punching range, but I'm not in kicking range. I use the step to get into range, okay? Because there's different ways you can get to range, okay? You can get to range by being in range, okay? Okay, I'm already in range, okay? I can move to range, okay? I can move forward. My opponent can move to my range, okay? They can close the distance. I can step into range, okay? Or I can lean into range, okay? By leaning, okay? You see this a lot in the savate, okay? The French savate, you do a lot of range is really crucial in that art. So they use a lot of these range methods for fighting, because a lot of times they're fighting in here, and then they have to pull their kick. Okay, so they have to learn how to use these methods. So one more thing about the range again. Okay, I can be in range, I can move to range, or using a switch kick to move to range. Okay, I can move myself to range. My opponent can move into my range. Okay, I can step into range, or I can lean into range. Okay, so those are the 5 methods of range that we teach here. Okay, so the stepping left high kick. Okay, 1, 2, 3, step, boom. Okay, you can throw the kick. Okay, 1, 2, again, any punch combination doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, step, kick. Okay, I like this because it takes me out of what we call the power line. Okay, if I'm standing here, I'm in his power line, which would be the right leg or right side. Okay, and most people, if they're left-handed, obviously the power line is the other side. So by moving to the here, I've taken myself out of their power line. So now I'm no longer in the line that they can hurt me the most. Okay, so I want to take that out. Now I can move this way out of the power line. I can move this way out of the power line. So by moving or stepping, not only do I set myself up for a good angle to attack them, but I'm taking them out of the angle that they can hurt me the most with. So that's another reason that the step kick is really good. You can use it for sweeping. Okay, you can use it for kicking the leg. You can use it for kicking the body. You can even use it for kicking the head. Okay, because it doesn't matter, you know, how the kick is going to be delivered. Okay, remember that we're doing kickboxing. Okay, so we do Thai kicks. Okay, teeps, round kicks. Okay, we sometimes will mix in savate with the more of the snappy kick. Boom. Okay, the savate kick, right? Because it's speed. There's always a time that you want speed in your kicks, and there's definitely a time when you need power in your kicks. Okay, so I love the combination of savate and Muay Thai. And Bruce Lee did too. He loved savate the most, but he was just really getting into researching the Thai, and he really liked the power. He thought it was too slow, but he liked the power, right? So I like the combination of the savate. That's why we teach savate here, is because it gives you a good addition to your kickboxing bit. Plus we also add in Jiu-Jitsu concepts, which I think every art should have, because Jiu-Jitsu really is a good method to teach you how to combine. Okay, it's really more of the science of fighting is what I consider Jiu-Jitsu concepts. It's more of the science behind it. Okay, so this is our Thai kicks. Okay, and it's great. You can come and see these on our YouTube channel, Michigan Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu Academy. That's the name of the channel. I have a lot of different videos on there on Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai. We're just started that channel, so I'm just adding more and more, so it's really good. You can find out about our school at mimuaythaiacademy.com. That's our website, and I give you information on our classes that we'll be offering here as soon as this coronavirus shutdown is lifted. So, other than that, Sawadee Cup, Sawadee Ka, thank you.